in the donkey, Jesus, because it doesn't look like there's no one else. But, yeah, anyway, you
Plus I
can
didn't
look on all that. It's
before
pretty
that's
scary.
when I start training.
So it just stays there and then
Assistance
it.
But
Kind of thing.
You cut them out, nothing serious. It's just leaving scars.
face to face.
Should I tell you something here, what I did?
15 minutes.
That's the next step. You see that?
Yes. Yes.
In a meeting.
Uh,
Should say
It happened to a city councilor. It happened to a city councilor too. He was there. He went on. That board on the floor is supposed to
catch it.
but it didn't. Look at that.
Yep, yep. I go. I'm not afraid of you. I'm just not sitting there.
I picked this one because I've got,
Yeah, because.
More shoulder space.
yeah,
Oh, this echoes in here.
because
I don't think.
the chairs hardly fit the smaller ones.
Oh, I don't know. You just don't want to bang your knuckles.
Yeah.
No, Bill, this one falls off. I sat here last time.
Yeah.
And it's,
Oh, yeah, looks right by the edge.
anyways, but we're here. Ready?
Good afternoon and welcome to today's meeting of the Parks Commission. We will do a quick roll call and we will start with Coco online.
Yes, I'm here, thank you.
And who is the other person that is online?
Sam Crowley, and then on the phone.
Thank you, Sam. And then we'll start with Jim down at the end.
I am Jim Hossley, Public Works Director.
Bev Myers.
Bill Davis.
Carmen Matthews.
Ariane Lyons.
Patty Scott.
Greg Hamblett.
I'm looking for a review and approval of the past meeting minutes for February 17th.
Move to approve the February 17th minutes.
Second.
First from Patty, second from Carmen. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. I do not see citizen input. Do we have any additional citizen input, Kelly? Okay. Moving on down to the Parks Master Plan update. Jim, do you want to kick that off?
I will kick this one off. Carolyn couldn't be here today, so I'm delivering the message in her place. One of the city council's goals for 21-22 was to update the Parks Master Plan. And Carolyn is spearheading that process for us as staff. And she had applied for a grant back late last year to get somebody, a consultant on board to help us with writing the plan and doing the public outreach. Unfortunately, we were unable to get the grant, and without the grant, we're going to have to use staff to do the work. We are going to still try to get a smaller grant to help us with getting public outreach done. And we'll probably know more on that effort by next Parks Commission meeting.
Thank you.
Carolyn was hoping I would go over this supplemental report with you. She wasn't necessarily looking for any feedback today, but if you have some you want to start on, we can do that, or otherwise we can save that and have more detailed discussion in May with her, but I'll go through that with you if you want.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, so we're seeking commission feedback on a number of issues. Number one, the plan completion timeframe. Carolyn's suggesting that we can get the plan done by November. And she said and that's including doing the public outreach. So to me that seems pretty aggressive, but
I would
Carolyn likes to get things done, so if we can get it done in 6 months, that'd be great.
All right.
And then she was seeking consensus on public outreach. She's recommending is a public survey developed by a consulting survey or public outreach professional after consultation with you. The survey and the information on the project would be on the city website for a specified period of time and advertised in the city's Friday update newsletter. The consulting professional would also handle one-on-one interviews with a number of stakeholders, either individuals or groups, and staff is seeking, as I said, funding for the consultant for this effort.
And Jim, that would be similar to what you did for the Front Street improvements?
Yes. Identification and consensus on key issues. So she has a few issues lined up here, and the Parks Commission can certainly say yay or nay to these, and she's expecting that you'll have additional items you'd like to explore as well. One is this inclusion of tourism community in the update. She attached the letter from the mayor that was part of our unsuccessful grant application and identified the economic value of including visitor community in the preparation of the parks plan. And commission consensus on this point would provide the basis for adding public outreach to the tourism community.
So, Jim, if I'll interject there, in my conversations with her, she was thinking that because the parks are utilized by the tourism industry, particularly our boardwalk, which overreaches, is heavily used by tourism, the thought process was to include outreach to either the visitor center, VCB, or some of their avenues to get feedback on our parks, not necessarily just from the community, but from people who utilize our park system outside. So if the commission likes that direction, then we can look towards reaching out to that avenue as well.
I would agree.
Great. Let's see, 3B, interest in topics for evaluation to the plan in advance of public engagement process. She threw out a couple of items here, 3 of them. Perhaps the addition of the Millicoma Marsh area is one. And she says upon completion of the Front Street Master Plan in June, adding the extension of the Coos Bay Boardwalk adjacent to Front Street. And then 3, interest in including other waterfront areas in the city in the plan. By way of example, there's the lower Hollering Place property owned by the city. Of course, the tribe had some interest in doing a project out there, and that's kind of fallen to the wayside. I haven't heard any direction from the council on what their vision is going forward on that property, but one idea, of course, is at least this waterfront area being improved for public use. Let's see, C, plan reformatting the ease of reading the plan, and she has some ideas there. And then she was throughout the idea of having the Parks Commission chair as the liaison with staff between commission meetings to serve as a sounding board for staff on items that would be of value to the commission.
Thank you, Jim. I think that after reviewing this and speaking with her, my suggestion and open for, of course, commission discussion is it might be good to have a few people from the Parks Commission that want to form a subcommittee that works directly with her to start getting the ball rolling on a few of these items, so we don't have to meet as a whole commission continuously. We'll do a kickoff meeting where we start it and then meet periodically with the subcommittee. Is there anyone on the commission that would be interested in being on the subcommittee for the Parks Master Plan update?
I would be interested.
Yeah, this is Coco, and actually am not going to be working as much, so I'm available.
Okay, Thank you. So Carmen and Coco are interested in being the subcommittee. Would the preference of the commission be for us all to meet together once to kick it off, and then the subcommittee gives feedback each month?
That sounds
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
good to me.
So our recommendation will be one group, full group meeting to kick it off. It doesn't have to be necessarily a parks meeting, it could be a work session. And then we'll let the subcommittee run with it, and then with feedback.
Mhm.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Jim, did you have any other items to add to this?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Edlund Park.
So Edlin Park, a request came in from a feasibility to enclose Edlin Park located between Newmark and Michigan. The fencing that is discussed is similar to some of the fencing that is used at wastewater treatment plant 2 and the pump stations, of wrought iron decorative type fence. So staff was approached by the person that is renting or leasing that building out there with possibilities of closing it because of the accumulation of trash and the misuse by some unhoused people who use it for camping or overnight sleeping or for restroom facilities or whatever, just to secure the site. It actually came up at a pretty good time because right now we are working with the engineering department and the fire department to fence in or close the fire department out in Empire. So with that project, it would be more of a Schedule B to enclose that fence. So we would have some lower costs associated with the enclosure of the park. So we would enclose it basically on two sides. At this point, there is a fence that is existing on the east side. We are going to be installing a fence on the south side. So it would just be the east side and the west and the north side that would be enclosed. We would include two man gates, or person gates now, sorry, two person gates, and then also an equipment gate, just in case we have to get a vehicle into the park to do any tree trimming or pruning of any of the vegetation around there. So the action that I'm requesting right now is to have commission members consider recommending approval of the placement of this fence.
What kind of fence is it?
I'm sorry?
What kind of fence is it?
What kind of fence? A decorative, like wrought iron type fence.
Oh, okay.
There are some pictures that are included in the packet
Oh,
that kind of depict what we're looking at. It's the same fencing that's used at the wastewater treatment plant 2,
oh, okay.
Pump Station 1, Pump Station 17, and Pump Station 8. Pump Station 8 is close to the college at LeClaire. Pump Station 1 is across the street from Front Street Provisioners, and Pump Station 17 is across the street from Coach House.
Okay. I guess I don't have the packet, that's why I'm a bit lost.
I have a question, this is Coco, and that building that's now used by the broadcast company that's on the west side, would that have fencing or security around it? I know there's a lot of garbage and stuff that ends up in those areas on the outside of that building.
No, this fence would be closed when the park is closed.
Okay, and the building is just, somebody's leasing that building now for the CNET, is that correct? So
Correct.
the city doesn't maintenance that.
Ask that again, I'm sorry?
There's the building, when you're at the park on the west side, there's a building that probably at one time, it looks like was bathrooms, et cetera, maybe an office. And it now is the, I guess you could call it community broadcast
Mm-hmm.
building. And I know there's a lot of nuisances that occur around that. So I didn't know if that was part of if that was going to be secured, but it's not going to be on that side.
The structure itself will fall within the footprint of the fence. So that structure is located within the park. The fence will
Okay.
surround the park.
Okay, I think that's great because I'm sure that
think that's the goal.
Yeah, I believe we've seen significant vandalism in the last few years. Didn't somebody light that building on fire like 3 years ago, or?
I've heard that it was lit on fire. I've heard the windows were all broken out of it, and I've heard there was vandalism to the inside.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Would someone like to make a motion regarding the fencing?
I have a comment, please.
Yes?
I was thinking if it's gonna be fenced in, that's gonna offer, even being a dog person, off-leash dog park, if there could be, I don't know if there's a dog bag building little post thing there and a garbage can for dog mess. Since there are gonna be kids there too, it's just something to think about, that people sometimes are not responsible for their dogs, and if it's fenced in so nicely, that gives the opportunity. So just something else to think on.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It is. I mean, dog parks seem to be really high on the community's priorities for our parks. Before putting in an asset like that, we might double down and focus it as more of a dog park, kind of reassign it almost. Not a full-on dog park. Well, I mean, I guess not solely a dog park, but maybe a portion of it.
Remember when we got into the logistics of dog park and hand washing stations and poop?
Yep.
Hand washing stations? Huh. I've never been to one that had a hand washing station.
Well, there was that outbreak in a dog park in Washington, 2 years ago? Or 3 years ago, and several dogs died and several people got very sick, and then of course they got sued. And so has been a strong legal recommendation that all dog parks now have hand washing stations.
Oh, wow. The dogs got sick too?
Yeah,
Not from
I don't know.
Washington.
This is several years ago.
Okay.
Coco?
Yes, I think when you're mixing use where you have play structures and then you have dog parks, if you have water features for dogs to drink water or get in water, that's something that I think a master plan would want to be careful looking at it. But I think having a mud mist and a trash can inside are something that can easily be done before we take a look at that mixed use.
But I think, evaluating each of the parks and their uses when we're doing the master plan, I think that would be, a great time to look at it.
Yep.
Right, but I, on any park now, if you added those wet mist stations with the trash receptacle, if it's enclosed, I think that's such a good idea, because whether you host a dog park or not, lots of people have pets that they take to the parks with them.
That's true.
So back to the fencing, do we have any motion from council in regards to the fencing?
I move that the commission, I move that we approve the placement of the fence.
Second.
We have a first and second. Further discussion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Does that work? All right. Cricket, Pioneer Cemetery.
I just noticed it was facing the other direction.
Yeah, it's facing the other way.
So, Cricket Souls, and I live outside the city, wasn't that smart? Oh,
Yeah, turn it around.
oh, look at this. That's why he does all the facilities.
Yeah,
Okay.
expert.
And it was a really rough day with my mom today, so it's kind of like, oh, I'm here. So we've started the fundraiser, which the city has nicely advertised in the Friday update. I'm not sure North Bend knew about it quite initially, and it was sort of Roger Craddock and Greg Mulkey that thought this would be a good idea to have a challenge between the two cities and the two schools. When I dropped off the jug at North Bend, it was news to them at the school. However, North Bend I've even stopped at the fire department here, and they were a little worried because I said, we're not happy with the North Bend Fire Department. So I didn't bring pictures today, but to deal with things and all the plexiglass, they have actually put a little tube, a Tygon tube that goes back into their secure lobby, and it connects to the big water jugs that we have sitting there, and and Sparky is holding it. So there is no kid in the world that's going to want to put their pennies anywhere else except in that one. So it'd be good to, just encourage getting things out a little bit so we get a little bit more information. I was invited to go to Rotary yesterday. I haven't actually come up with the exact numbers, but they were very generous with their happy money and other money. So I'm thinking we have a good chunk of, so far, about $100, and we're looking for $1,138. And I will check with the mill about getting some rooms comped. Otherwise, the rooms cost almost as much as our survey. So for those of you that missed that part, it's a professional team from Albany that's coming in to survey all the headstones that are still there. Then they come up with a cost estimate or a restoration estimate that's needed, and that's often a springboard for family members or the city or whatever to apply for a grant to get things fixed up. So, that's something down the road to think about, and there are grants, because it is on the National Register and because you are a CLG, there are grants specifically for that, and there are the historic cemetery grants. So there's ones that aren't too hard to come by and can maybe get some things fixed up. So the team will be here on the 7th and 8th. What I'm trying to do is get them to maybe stop a little early because it's so windy there, and maybe have a meet and greet. So I don't know if they haven't committed to that yet, and we could possibly have it at Heritage Hall, but I also wondered about the possibility, if it's open, doing it at the fire department in that room there, because there's good parking and lighting, and because it would be at least an early evening thing. So that would be one question I bring to you. And then the other thing is, like going to a place like Rotary, that's great. And we're collecting pennies and small change as much as anything to get people engaged in it. Remember, there's a cemetery, you can have kids collect. So for every dollar's worth of pennies, which my daughter informed me that means we need 500 pounds of pennies, but for every dollar we get, we can take care of one headstone as far as evaluating it. So if anyone has suggestions of where we can show up, and meant to bring up my things, I've got the little pass the hat things that we've taken around and trying to get everyone going. So we're fortunate to have the OBAB, the Oregon Bay Area Beautification, whatever they are, I can't get all the initials out right. Anyway, they'll be coming on May 14th to do a cleanup. They're only there for 2 hours, so that's not a lot of time, but every little bit helps. The city's going to try and get in before that and get the grass mowed where they can. And then we will, put something in the Friday update, encourage others to come there. I'm looking at trying to get some of the students to come on Friday the 13th and do some work as well. So we encourage everyone to come then, look for other places to put our little canisters to collect money. And does anyone have any questions about those upcoming things there?
And do you want to touch on your Memorial Day event that's coming up?
Yeah, I'll go on to the other things that we're doing. So that was that one. So, and we'll prep some things for the Friday update. So the other things we're doing is on Memorial Day this year, Marshfield's had a community program for, 6-7 years, something like that. Not a good plan to, I don't have any students anymore, so hopefully by next year, get back to the schools, get some students involved in this. So what we're doing this year is we'll highlight what Stacy Gulseth has done with her landscaping in the front of Marshfield, what's looking really good, and she hopes to have that finished. And on the front lawn, we're going to put coroplast, like the election sign material, lined up there in the sense of like Arlington, if you can visualize Arlington National Cemetery. And we had 37 young men that were associated with the Coos Bay School District that died in service. So we will have those 37 men with a little bit of information. And we know some of them have family members and that, and just kind of that impact, sort of like the pinwheel look that you see for the Kids Hope. sort of get a visual that we can do there. And it's something we can do year after year. So my coroplast should arrive on Monday, and we're working on that. Then, what else are we doing? We think we're doing, oh, and then an update, because Coos Bay is kind of the spearhead of that, on the moon trees. So my husband delivered our first moon tree, got adopted yesterday, and I kidded the guy. It's like, you know, I'm running adoption age, and he started giving me his credentials. So the city of Wilsonville has what they call a work, W-E-R-K day, which is in line with Earth Day and Arbor Day, and they are a tree city just like Coos Bay is. So they requested one of the trees. So all our trees are named after the Apollo 14 astronauts, the backup crew, Bob from Coos Bay and Stan from the Forest Service. So since Al was the first one to fly in space, Alan Shepard, so they got Al, so we think that's great. So they're tickled pink. They work with a lot of kids. The requirements for a tree is in a public place with a public program and a plaque. So they met that, and if you have people in other parts of Oregon that would, you know, be interested in that, another one has already been adopted and will be going to Cave Junction, so we'll have one there as well. So I think we're moving along on lots of different things, but I still need you to think about if the fire station is available and we can get them to have a thing, can we use that for a meet and greet while the preservations are here? And any questions on anything? Please let me know. You know, maybe some night we need a night at your place or something. And I did give I don't know, was that 15 minutes or so presentation somewhere in there?
About 20, yeah.
20 minutes, so a little presentation that we can, you know, tailor. We can talk about the brewers if we go there. So if anyone has other things, like this one, I added the 2 of the connections with North Bend because we were really pushing on that, and we got a lot more money for North Bend.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
okay, all right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Cricket.
Thank you, Cricket.
And I should mention, Becky's much happier. She's working on the management plan for the cemetery, so she'll put that on her list of updating that and kind of have that tie in so you can review it before you do that, and that'll be that part of the parks thing that she's working on. And the reason we need things like that is because a lady called me yesterday about Sumner Cemetery, and she did call the Planning Commission here, so if you get a call, we've taken care of it, and they wanted to have their wedding in the Sumner Cemetery, which is this little tiny cemetery. They wanted 50 people in chairs. So that's why you have a management plan, so it's easy for someone to say, no way. So, so we're making those updates, and Coco probably knows other things that need to be added that we can take care of as we get that work done.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coco.
And that brings us down to staff and commissioner comments. Do we have any additional items that didn't make the agenda?
No.
No? Patty? Nope. Carmen?
Do we have any update on Mingus Park planning at all, or are we waiting for the master plan to do more work on Mingus Park?
In regards to the specific aspect of that, or just the
Well,
overall?
pretty much all the plans that we had prior. I know that we didn't apply for the grant. Are we going for the grant this next year, or are we waiting for the master plan?
I can find out and get back to you on that one. I'm not sure how to answer that question at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think we're still going to be seeking funding for doing the dredging. Because I don't know if that needs, that can certainly be part of the master plan, but I think any of the amenities we put in may want to wait on the completion of the master plan update.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Let's see, there was another thing I had. Update on the bridge. I'm surprised Patty didn't say anything.
I just got an update before we started.
Oh,
There is no
I missed
update.
that. As I was tardy.
And
I-
so my understanding is that as we move forward, and Jim, if I'm misspeaking here at all, let me know. But I believe that that's going to be part of the master plan as well. That funding for that bridge is hopefully going to be worked out. I've talked to ODF&W, and I've talked to the same folks that are helping with the disc golf.
OCVA?
Yeah. And we're kind of having conversations with that. They brought it up, but I want to make sure that we work through the process of it.
Yeah, 'cause I thought we were pretty close to funding it at one point.
We were, and then it kind of,
Several times.
we had some issues with the council.
The council?
I
No,
think,
me.
I think that's when you went on.
Yeah, I don't think you were on there yet. And then we didn't have representation on this board from council, and
Oh. Well, now,
now you're here.
we better get it done quick because my term is ending in November. And who knows if I'll get reelected?
We were really close to doing soil samples. We had a couple of different kinds of options for aluminum or a concrete over, and then it kind of,
Well, I'd
And
really
it's-
like to see what happens with that, with the potential of the siting of the library. I think it'll be an amenity that we really need to, finalize and get that thing rolling. So I'd like that to be a priority, but, I'm excited to do master planning, although I also have some mixed feelings because I feel like once you bring up master planning, then all the things that you've been planning wait for the master planning, and then we don't get anything done for another 2 years. which
That's
is
why
what I'm a
we're
little
getting
worried
it
about.
done in 6 months, the master plan.
Okay, well, I sure hope so, because the last time, I believe
took-
the master plan took like.
3 years.
I was gonna say 2 years, but it's even longer. So I'm terrified about pushing Mingus Park's plans way back. I mean, if we got the dredging done without the additional amenities, that would make me happy, but, I think that the whole park needs, I thought we had a pretty good plan, so,
I think part of why it took us so long last time is the prior master plan was from like '89.
oh, yeah.
So we had nothing to start from.
So we have a good foundation, and Carolyn is a superstar, so, with her help, I think we could probably move a little quicker. 6 months sounds optimistic, and I'm optimistic, so that sounds good. I think that's all I have for current commissioner comments.
Thank you. Bill?
I'm good.
Okay. Bev? Coco?
I am fine. I think some of the things that we had previously discussed about the state park issues that came up have already been temporarily addressed, and the rest are just waiting for the master plan. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
Or funded? Yeah, okay. So the temporary signage and all that I understood was everything was okay for where it is now until the master plan. But I just want to make sure that that was correct on my part of understanding.
That is my understanding. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Coco. Sam?
He's probably grinding grain. You're all good?
Thank you. The only thing I had is I thought I saw an advertisement for the disc golf tournament in John Toppet's. Was that, I thought we had said that we weren't doing that. But I could have been wrong. Maybe it could have been a dream or a nightmare, but I just wanted to bring that up.
No, my understanding is that the commission, I think we had a vote, I think we moved forward with doing that,
To what?
with holding the tournament.
Holding it?
Yes.
With provisions.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the meeting that I missed. My apologies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, approved with, conditions. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the biggest issue was closing the park.
Yeah, we didn't want to close the park.
Yeah.
And the park is not going to be closed.
Okay, that was what I wanted to double check. I saw the ad and I thought, wait a minute, and then I apologize, that was the one where I had technical difficulties, so, thank you.
Oh, yeah, so an additional follow-up comment on that, we do have a cleanup that we're gonna do on May 1st, I believe it is. To prepare for it, so if anybody wants to go hang out in Empire Lakes and do some cleanup, we'll be doing that.
And is the city doing anything for Arbor Day?
Yes. We will get that, I can get that schedule of events to you guys.
Okay.
At this point, we're scheduled for the 29th, Friday, April 29th. I'm not sure of the time yet, but, and I think the location has been selected for John Hopkins.
Okay. Thank you. Any other additional comments?
I forgot something.
Okay.
So, it's been a crazy day. This has all happened since early this morning. So one of the things that happened out of the last 3 approved burials that we had in the cemetery, one put in a plastic nameplate glued to the granite. Another one put in a DIY one, and we're okay with DIY. If you follow the guidelines, we've offered both unacceptable as headstone monuments. So Becky's put together a thing that you have to have it approved. So once burned, twice shy. And this is not uncommon with most cemeteries. So the other things you have to worry about is iconography. So unless you are from a place that uses a swastika, no, we don't let swastikas on there. Things like that, and things you never imagine. So now we have to approve it, and we is you. So I don't think it'll be a big deal. We're limited to 10 burials a year, so it's never going to be a big thing. And we've got a draft thing that I think Kelly sent out already to everyone. Did you send the draft of the form? I don't know. Okay, so eventually you will get this. And the very first one now, the woman sent just today, she said, what's the city doing? I said, we can't do anything until you send a plan. So she just did a hand-drawn thing, and then we'll check it. And that's fine. We're not trying to make this an ordeal. We're just trying to get it decent. And there's only one real place in the state now. We have no grave digger locally. If anyone wants to start a new business, he's retired. And there's really only one place, OM Stone in Portland. They're well over 6 months behind getting up headstones. But we do need to have some idea of what these are going to look like before they get in place so we can solve that problem. So that'll, however you connect that, that's something that can go in the management plan as well. But we need to work on this because this headstone will be coming before that. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Cricket.
That's the one you handed me, Cricket?
Yeah, that's one I handed you. And I will email you that one, but you can let people see that now. It's pretty basic.
Okay.
Nothing offensive there.
Thank you. Any other additional comments? Well, I appreciate everyone coming in today, and we'll get wrapped up early for all those days that we stay late. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, hopefully it's